Welcome to Life Workshop, where we discuss the forgotten basics. So today again, your most favorite host, Mo, is here, and Doug, the
most favorite best co-host. There we go. Sure. Good to be back. Hi.
One extra title to it. So the topic of this episode is dog eat dog or win-win. And where am I going with this? It is that in order to be successful, do we need other people's failure? Do we need others to fail in order for us to succeed? Do we have to step on top of each other to rise, or can we help each other to rise? The concept is that because, for the longest time, we have been told that you have to crush your enemy and that you have to win. And in order for you to win, literally somebody else should lose.
Correct. Yeah. It's always been winning at all costs by doing whatever is required, whether it's hurting somebody, helping somebody. It was never really considered.
Yeah. Yep. And then, and this same ideology basically caused a lot of other things. For example, the policies that they were, the way that the countries worked. For example, for the longest time, they were invading each other. Of course, one part, maybe there were some other, interests in that, less power and, superiority or something. So there have been just, I would say, some value systems that they drove us to do what we did and we do. I believe 5 or 6 episodes on value system, and I would really encourage everyone to listen to those things. And it is basically another version of it, that the thing that we value, that decides how we live our life and the way that we treat others. Because very frequently you hear, why people can't they just live in peace? Well,
because they don't want to. It's not their values. It's not
actually,
who they are.
They want to, but the value system that they have is wrong. And then it just drives them the opposite direction. So very frequently we wish something, but we go a wrong direction because of the value system we have. For example, in the past, the countries, what they did, divide and conquer, that became a thing. The colonization happened at one point with the British and the Spanish and some other countries, and then that kind of stopped at World War II, primarily for some other reasons. That's another story. But now, United States, for example, they try to go and, have bases in here and there to be the superior power. Yep. And, and then you do some stuff that you go, for example, you're trying to take advantage of other countries from their weakest spot or keep them weak in order to use their resources. And then 9/11s happen. And then we wonder, why did you treat me bad?
Yeah. Actually, I thought of it thinking all of these references in my mind went back to Roman time, the Roman Empire. They wanted to take everything that they could. And for a moment, I thought it's getting a bit less. Like all of that's happening less and less and less. But thinking about it, it's really not. If you look at the last 100 years, you've got World War I, World War II. You got what?
Cold Wars, basically.
The Cold Wars. You've got 9/11. You've got.
That said, I'm not as pessimistic as you are. I think the new generation is becoming better. I have asked a question from the high school kids, that, do you guys compete and compare as much? Of course, they said no. I know that they do it in some other aspect, like, for example, how many followers I have on Instagram, Twitter. I don't know how famous I am. But I think in general it's becoming a bit less, which is a good thing. Yeah. But where am I going with all these things? We want to make sure that when we want to have a good life, we want to see the value system that we have. As I said, when, for example, the countries that they go and, for example, they try to take advantage of other countries in a bigger picture, then for the sake of, benefiting their own fellow countrymen. My question is that when you have a behavior and value system that you should step on somebody else in order to go up, where does that value system stop? When you do that to other countries, but when it comes to your own home country, you're going to be nice to your fellow countrymen? I don't think so.
No, I don't think so either. Because it's you.
It's a behavior.
Yeah, it's
And
you.
does it stop? Okay, I do it maybe to some of my countrymen, but I'm not going to do to my my community. Really?
Yeah.
When you have that behavior, you do it to other countries, then you do it to your members of, your own, I don't know, community, then you do it to your own family members, to your own children, to your own brothers and sisters, to everybody, because it's a behavior.
If there's enough to gain and it's something that you want, if you have that behavior, what you're saying is that you would do it, irrelevant whether it's your country, your auntie, your cousin,
Yeah,
your
you know them or
school,
don't know.
your, yeah.
It's a bit. In one of the episodes that I did about, I think, friends or making friends, one thing that I said, in order for somebody that potentially can become a good friend, is somebody who basically is not your enemy.
That's a good start.
That's a very good
Yeah.
start. But just
Wise,
listen
very,
to this
very
though.
wise.
Yeah. But okay, it might sound very, simplistic, but chances are very high. A lot of us, we have done that. And I have done it personally. Now, who can be your enemy? The one who wishes bad on somebody else. Maybe not you, but on somebody else. If they are in that, they have that manner, your turn will come up.
Yeah, yeah.
So
It's
this
not,
is what,
it's not them versus you. It's them versus whoever they want to choose.
that's correct.
Yeah,
And
that's their behavior.
just wait for your turn to come up.
Yeah.
You may skip it, but it was just a matter of luck. So this is where I'm going. It's a behavior that for any reason, if somebody wishes bad on others or anyone else, chances are higher will do the same thing to you and me and everybody else too. It's just that it's not that, it's just for those people. I'm going to be nice to you, but to those people, I'm not going to be nice. Or you are nice or you're not. That's it. There is no discrimination in that one. So the same thing, the same moral, applies to in here, that, if our value system is that I should step on top of each other, to go up, we will do it to ourselves too. And actually we'll do it first to one that they are the closest,
Right.
then the ones that they are further away. So, but another thing that I wanted to say, that now, for example, the question comes up, let's say in Olympics or races or something, that, for example, there is one person or one team that comes first, and then there are not two or three. It's just one that comes first.
Winner takes all.
Yeah. What happens to that? The way I see it, I would say there are two different kind of a competition. When the resources are limited or resources are not limited. So resources are limited. For example, the number of people that they can come first is just one or one team. That's a limited thing. When it comes to those kind of things, now I'm taking it a bit further. There are two types of, they say competition, or is it intrinsic or extrinsic. Intrinsic competition is when I'm doing something because I just want to get better than myself, than past myself. That's intrinsic. I want to just do that. But extrinsic is when I'm doing it for a goal. I want to come first. Now, in order to come first, I'm sometimes willing to do, not necessarily, but some people, they have to do anything that they have to.
Right.
They crush the enemy or the competition or whatever else
So
that it might take.
It's about something or someone else
That's
that
correct.
you want to get to. You want to be like, you want to achieve or beat them.
Look at you, Doug.
I'm telling you, not just the pretty face.
That is true. It is actually, this is how it is said. Extrinsic is more about somebody else,
Right.
or something else.
Yeah, it's
Intrinsic is about you.
External and internal, yeah.
That is correct. So if that becomes the thing, extrinsic, then it becomes very stressful actually on the person. Because it's a lot of stress on me. For example, if I have an extrinsic value system that I want to beat somebody and that at any cost, then it becomes a lot of work because I'm not doing it for me. I'm doing it for that idea. So it's stressful. It has an anxiety with it and, all of that. And even if you come first, you're not going to be first forever.
Yeah, it's not going to
You
be
know that
no.
your turn is going to come up. You can hang on to it as much as you want to, but you know what? It becomes like some of these leaders in the world, let's say Putin right now,
Right.
that you have to hang on tight, buddy. If you go down, you go down.
His time seemed to be coming soon.
Yeah.
Ish. Yeah.
Hopefully. So it is the same basically. But if it's intrinsic, for example, you do the best that you can do to become real, to improve in whatever sport, let's say, or whatever that you're doing, regardless of what others are doing. You don't care about that. Now, if you come first for any chance, that's
just that good. Yeah,
that's a
and
bonus.
It's with yourself. Yeah,
that's a bonus that you want to. But you're enjoying the process. You celebrate the result if there is one. And if you don't come first, you enjoy the process. So I use this very frequently. When you want to do something, make sure that your goals are, kind of set appropriately.
Right. Yeah.
If you're doing it for you to get better, for example, in a sport, or for example, to become a better worker, or you become, better at something, if it's for your own sake, go at it. Yeah. You're enjoying the process because for you, it's all about you. But if you're doing it with the intention to beat somebody else, you may or may not be able to succeed. And even if you succeed, there is somebody else with the same behavior trying to beat you. And if they do, then you will be crushed.
So it's internal competition versus external competition, where
motivations, I would say, yes. Yeah, it is the same, intrinsic and extrinsic. So at the end of the day, again, all of these things, they go back to one basic thing, that if we have the right value systems, if you have the right set of thought, because sometimes, again, when we complain why the whole world is the way that it is, it's because the way that we think individually, because who becomes a politician? One of us. Who is becoming the leader is one of us. There is nobody else. Who becomes, I don't know, ends up in our Olympic or in our army or in our, medical field or any other field, is just us. There is no one else. And then when we have those value systems, we actually promote them. I have said this in another podcast too. If our value system is that for example, to even elect somebody that, let's say, wants us to be better people, we elect those people versus somebody else. To be clear, just imagine right now, if there was one of the politicians who would come and say that, you know what, and this is one of the value systems that I said we have it completely wrong. The value system mainly in the whole world, the way that I see it for most part, is our people, we want to make our people richer and financially better because we are suffering. Really, are we? Financially we are suffering, or we have other suffering that is way worse than this. Then where am I going with this? If a politician comes and says that, you know what, I will try, my goal is to make the society happier, whatever it takes to be happier. Most likely, most of us, we are not going to vote for it. Actually, it would be silly. I think the concept is a bit silly.
Because people have different values.
And the wrong values. That's exactly where I'm going.
Well, whether it's, in that instance, there could be people with the right values and others with different values, and it's just not going to work because they don't have the same ideas.
This is exactly where I'm going with this thing. And the concept that I'm doing this podcast is just to see, do we have our value system the correct way? Because if our value system, which normally, for example, politicians, what do they do? We will make the society richer and we will just finances, we create jobs and all of these things. But you never, and your goal was not necessarily to make the society happier. And then what you do, when the people vote for you, and often, hopefully, they do what you want them, they promise. But if they want to make the society richer, really, are they thinking more about you
or themselves?
Because that's the value system. And the same thing goes the other way around. If I want to become the society, I want the society to be happier, what am I doing? I want to be happier first before I can help you to be happier. But the difference is that my happiness depends on your happiness. In order for me to be happier, I want you to be happier. But when it comes to wealth, although again the same morality applies, in order for me to be richer, I want you to be richer.
Right.
To be wealthier. But because we use a wrong value system, that dog eat dog often, of course, I would say thankfully less at this time, then we have a different, it's called a red ocean versus blue ocean mentality when it comes to business. To business, what it means, red ocean mentality, we have almost the same business, I try to, to cut throat,
very aggressive, very intense.
To make sure that you lose. Yep. But a blue ocean mentality is when I say that, good on you, you do your thing, I will just create my own way of doing it, a little bit different. I will have my own, niche that I'm going to work on.
Okay.
But again, so the whole thing goes back again to this value system that we have, that are we thinking in order for us to succeed, others should lose, or no, we want them to succeed? And very basic morale that I use, I say, in order for you to be respected, you need to respect others. In order to be loved, you should love others. In order for you to be successful, others should be successful.
You should wish for others to be successful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And why do you expect other way around? Because if you wish them ill, they wish you ill.
Right.
And then if you want to crush them, they want to crush you.
But some of what you're saying, like if you want to receive love, you got to give love. If you want to have respect, you got to give respect. That is not a normal, natural thing, at least not for me.
Mm-hmm.
Which I suppose it comes down to, again, that word value system. And it's strange to think of it that, again, you receive what you give. Is that what you're saying to some extent?
We call that karma.
I don't believe in karma. No, I'm kidding.
But you know what? No, you're right about the fact that in some societies, I don't want to now name countries. For example, in some countries, if you respect, you will be disrespected. Because if you were respectful, it shows it's a sign of weakness.
Yep.
The sign of, strength is that, I should be disrespectful to you.
Yeah.
And this is a value system of that society. So again, I said, these are the value systems that are there. The value system is this. For example, I have said in another podcast, a buddy of mine said that as a physio, he wanted to come and see me. I said, I can try to get you in quick. He said, if you're that quickly you can get me, so you're not that
you're
good.
Not busy.
then you're not good. And because you're not busy. I said, is this the only thing that you need to know? So if I would play hard to get, I would become good.
I know, yeah.
And sometimes now we play hard to get.
What about just a favor? I don't know. That was basically it.
Or maybe I'm a hardworking guy. Maybe I know what I'm doing. I do it quick. Maybe I'm efficient.
It's not that. That's the other one.
But do you know exactly where I'm going with this thing?
Correct.
It is the conclusion that we take, but because of the value system that we have. So then basically for this buddy of mine, he promotes and probably asks, I want to play hard to get.
Mm-hmm.
Do you want to get together? You know what? Let me check my schedule. I'm very busy, doing nothing, but I'm very busy, So, and when you play hard to get, when you don't make time for your friends,
you will become
and
unhappy.
you have extra time, that.
Yeah, but you'll just become unhappy. That's it.
As I said, it keeps going back to the same thing, It is the value system that we have. It is all goes back to the value system that we have. If somebody respects you and make time for you, do you look at it as a good thing or as a bad thing?
Right.
Then that becomes who goes on top. I normally say that you can judge the value system of a society by seeing who's on top. So if you see, for example, politicians are often liars. I don't think when we say a politician, the honesty comes the first thing in our head. It is because our value system has been that we want liars. Because we don't vote for honest people. This is exactly it. Because if honest people, for example, if you say, I want black, I say, I want white, then they will say yes to both of us to get our vote. Because if they don't say the thing that we want, then we don't vote for them often. So all goes back. I have done it in value system. I don't want to, dig into this a lot more than this. It takes time. But I have done this in the value system in those series.
Okay.
So, it all goes back. Trust me, nobody else is there. Why honest people don't run for those kind of things? Because they get crushed. Because we crush them.
Yeah, it's natural for society. Is that what you're saying?
No. It is nurture, not nature. It is because we have wrong value system. That's all I'm saying. And then how all this can be corrected? From us. From the bottom to top.
Right.
Because as our new generation gets better and better, then you will not have too many bad options that they want to go on top, and actually they will not get elected. You know, just the good people will get elected. The ones that are more honest and decent, and you know, if they make a mistake, they accept it. They don't try to cover it, and then basically.
So are you optimistic about, I know, the next 50, 100 years?
I would say so.
Just
yes.
in general, how society and people have changed to be less win-win?
I would say yes, absolutely. And the reason that I'm saying one of it is statistically, if you just look at what has happened over the past generations. No, the new generation is much better than the previous generation. Remember, just think of it this way. We had World War I and II. You're a foreigner, so am I. Yes. And we are in this country.
Yes.
And we are not fighting each other. We are living a very good life.
True. Yeah. And that was not possible 100 years ago. Yeah.
Absolutely not.
No.
Because we would look at us as foreigners, and then we would look at them. This is Canada. We should
foreigners?
Yeah. Still, we look at. I look at you as foreigner.
Don't worry, I look at you too. It's okay, Mr. Foreigner.
If we do it, it's okay. But in all honesty, you know what? It would not have happened. And as a matter of fact, in the countries that are less educated, it doesn't happen. Civil wars happens where? In countries that have more similarities. You know, for example, in Syria.
Right. Yep.
You know, in East Europe, when this happened, because lack of education, that they slaughtered each other. And they had the most similarity to each other on all bases. In Syria, for example, one of the civil war, it's just they are just the same people. Of course, party I should say, it's a divide and conquer too. But because they have we have differences, we have similarities. Which one you want to focus on?
Correct.
And you will see it. You know, I normally say that be careful what you look for. You will find it. You will find whatever you look for. There is
you can motivate whatever you want.
You will have your reasons, and if you want to Google it, you will find much more reasoning for that.
For it,
because I forgot what it's called, but something Google bias. Yeah, it's called Google bias. Okay. That whatever you do, Google is there for you to help you with that to find it. Yeah. But at the end of the day, again, is the value system that we have that decides, how our society is gonna run. And remember, if you wish others to lose or to be crushed for you to win, that behavior does not stop. You will do it not just to the ones that you don't know, you will do it the ones that you know and the ones that you love.
Right. Yeah,
it's a behavior.
It'll flow all through your entire life.
Yeah. Anyway, again, the podcast became longer than I was hoping for, but I hope that, again, you have enjoyed it. And it is, I hope that we can just look at, the question is that the value system that we have, again, do you wish your competition to win or to lose, or do you wish yourself to just get better? Just what is your thing? Anyway, after all, life is simple. We make it complicated. Take care.